Okay, here we are. We are live from the studios of Josh in Dallas, Texas. No, I am Josh. Thank you for joining me here with Travel China Cheaper. I am on Instagram, I am on Facebook, and dang it, I still cannot get YouTube to work for me for the life of me. If there's anybody who is watching this who can help me figure out why I cannot get YouTube. I mean, it says I'm going live on YouTube, but apparently there's an error occurred. Please try again later. So I don't know. We'll see how this goes. But today we are specifically, I want to be talking about WeChat. I'm going to give people a few minutes to enter into this live video, whether you're on Facebook. And once you do enter in, if you're here, go ahead and leave a comment so I can see who's actually here and get a sense of just what's going on. So whether you're on Instagram, whether you're on Facebook, give me a quick message to let me know that you're here. And I would love to just say hi to you. And as you can see, I am here in my office. I am trying a new setup. I'd like to do a microphone, which the people on Instagram aren't getting to necessarily enjoy, but the people on Facebook are hopefully getting a much clearer audio signal. And yeah, you might also hear my son and my in the background. If you can kind of see the windows back here, he is playing in the playroom, and there's just nothing I can do about that, which is great. He's a lot of fun. Hey, Geneva, great to see you. I'm not seeing anybody yet on Instagram, but that's all right. Let's go ahead and keep on rolling. I am, like I said, I'm Josh, and I have been using WeChat for a number of years. So actually, let me back up. Most people aren't aware of the fact that China is like light years ahead of America or most of the Western world when it comes to when it comes to mobile payments, right? Like we think we're so awesome with Google Wallet and with Apple Pay, and we've got nothing. Oh, hey Geneva there on Instagram as well. We've got absolutely nothing on China. Now, here's what I mean. You go and you're actually lucky here in America if I can find a store that works with Apple Pay. Now they're becoming more and more, but it's a crapshoot. You never know. Whereas in China, you could have somebody selling fruit from a rickety wood stand on the side of the street, and he's going to be able to accept mobile payments. And as a matter of fact, it goes so far as to say that nobody in China now walks around with a credit card or with cash. Now, maybe they do a little bit, but the phone is everything to people in China right now. It's their means of communication. It's their means of paying for things. It's their means of just getting their news and videos, buying train tickets, flight tickets, everything using this program called WeChat is huge. It is the most important thing. So, and I apologize if you can, if you can hear right now, I'm a little stuffed up. And so I'm having a hard time speaking clearly. But hopefully you can understand that. Anyway, we're talking about WeChat here. So WeChat is something that makes life a whole lot easier for anybody that is using it. Hey there, Jules. It's good to see you there on Instagram. So Jules, we're talking about Insta or WeChat right now, which is China's form of payment for pretty much anything. And then how we as foreigners can use that, because it used to be that it was really simple. As a matter of fact, you didn't have to have any sort of bank account or anything. All you had to do is have somebody send you what's known as a red packet, which is China's way of saying a gift, a hongbao. So they would send a gift, and then that would open up your WeChat wallet, which is a very important thing. So we're going to talk about two important things here. One is a WeChat wallet, and we'll get to that in a second. And then one is just like WeChat Pay, and those are kind of separate. All right, that's very important to understand. So those are two separate things. So the first thing, that if you ever want to be using WeChat to pay for things, and that's going to be somewhat expected whenever you're in China, then you have to open a WeChat wallet. And here's the thing that trips up most people is that in order to do that, and this is a key, and at this point, this may just like shut it down for you. In order to open a WeChat wallet, you have to have a China bank account, period. That's it. Like you have to have a China bank account. And that honestly sucks. That's the way that they've set it up now. It's new policies. It wasn't that way before, but that's the way it is now. You have to have a China bank account. And in order to have a China bank account, you can't, most of the time, they won't allow you to open a bank account on a tourist visa. You have to be on a work visa or a student visa or a business visa or something like that, which also makes it extremely hard when you're trying to, get around and pay using your phone. You can't do that unless you have a WeChat wallet. You can't have WeChat wallet without a, what do you call it? You can't have WeChat wallet without a bank account. And then of course you can't have a bank account as a tourist. So if you go back down the line, that really means that you're sunk. Now, one of the things that you saw maybe in the title of this video or in some of the promos was talking about adding a foreign credit card to WeChat, which is possible. All right, it's been done. I wrote an article about it a few months ago, which I'll maybe link to in some of the description here on Facebook. If you're on Instagram, you can jump on to facebook.com/travelchinacheaper and you'll see it there. And essentially what it was is back in 2018, January of 2018, WeChat opened up the ability to add a foreign credit card to your WeChat Pay. And that seemed like a really amazing, awesome deal. And a whole bunch of basically foreigners, expats got super excited about this. And I'm including myself. And I jumped on to add my foreign credit card and it was just an utter failure. Personally, I could not add my card. There was something about the way that my name was set up because, when I set up my bank account in China, I have to set up with my last name and then my first name. Like instead of, here in the US, I'm always going to use my first name first and then my last name. And that's really confusing, but that's just the way that China does it. They give their first name last and their last name first, right? You get used to it after you're there for a little while. But because of that little mix up, whenever I tried to add my card, which had my first name first, my foreign card, my first name first and my last name last, it confused WeChat and it wouldn't let me add the card. So that was a little bit disappointing. But as I've had many people reading through this article, I've had a lot of people commenting saying that they have been able to add their foreign credit card, which sounds great. Again, I'm really happy for those people. But they also share the fact that one, that doesn't open their WeChat wallet. That's important. Two, it's really hard to pay for things. You can only pay for certain things. Like you can pay for, using WeChat to buy flight tickets or train tickets or something major. But to go and buy something at the grocery store, something on the street, you can't do that when you have a foreign credit card on WeChat. It's ridiculous, I know. And then the important thing that I was telling you about, the reason why you can't pay for things on the street is because a foreign credit card does not open your WeChat wallet. And when you don't have a wallet open, you can't make these person-to-person transactions. I've seen a couple people jumping on and off over the past few minutes. I do want to open it up for questions as I talk about this a little bit more, but I did want to say that when we're dealing with person-to-person transactions, like they're super simple. It's just you scan something and you pay for it, or you show your QR code and then they can pay for it pretty easily. And the reason that China does this, at least the reason that I've understood, is that they want to keep track of everybody. If you didn't know this, by using WeChat, this is no joke. This has actually been written up in China's own newspapers. By using WeChat, you're giving the Chinese government a back door to look into everything that you're doing, everything that you're talking about. They have admitted the fact, WeChat has basically admitted the fact that they allow the Chinese government to monitor everything that's done on WeChat. And WeChat is a massive ecosystem, as I've already talked about, in China. Probably almost as big, if not bigger, than Facebook is. Now, what that means is when you're doing anything, whether that is texting somebody, giving a message, using maps, or paying for something, that can, and in some ways is, monitored. And so when they're doing payments, they don't want payments to be able to be anonymous. In order to open up a new WeChat account now, you have to have a registered Chinese phone number in China. You can do this in America as well, or in the West, wherever you're at. But in order to set up payment, they want to know, they want to be able to track the money on their side. And if you're using a foreign credit card, it's a whole lot harder to track, right? Whereas if you're using a China-based bank account or a China-based card, they can track that. They can follow through and see what exactly what you're doing, what you're paying for, and all that stuff. I'm going to stop right here for just a moment. Geneva, Jules, I mean, are there any questions so far? I want to give you an opportunity. I want to interact a little bit. This is kind of the point of live video. If there's anything that that you have questions on, I'd love to hear about it. But anyway, I'll keep on going and just say that you can add your foreign credit card. It's not going to help things any. So what that means is, as a traveler going into China, you are going to want to use your cash. You're just going to have to bring your ATM card and use cash. Now, if you're going as an expat or a student or a business person who can open a bank account, that's a totally different story. And I recommend that if you have the patience and the kind of the adventurous spirit to go and open a Chinese bank account in order to use WeChat Pay and a lot of these other services that WeChat offers. But as a tourist, as somebody who's coming short term, as somebody who just doesn't have the time to be going to a bank and opening up an account, WeChat Pay at this moment, right now, is not an option. And I'm sad that that's the case, but that's true. So, you know, you can try to add a foreign credit card. More than likely, it's not going to help you any. You can try to receive money from another friend. And again, that may not actually benefit you at all. But in the end, you're still going to want to download WeChat onto your computer or onto your phone, your mobile device, and use that while you're going around. And then bring an ATM card. Know your ATM password. That's big. And and then you can get cash out of an ATM pretty much anywhere in China. The ATMs are everywhere. I've had a couple problems pulling cash. Most of the time, those problems were related to my own bank that was wondering if maybe this was a fraudulent cash pull. But more often than not, I was able to get cash out of an ATM without a problem. And you can use that cash anywhere. Cash is still king. I mean, cash can still be accepted anywhere, but mobile payments has pretty much taken over all of China. All right. Well, here's what I'm going to say. I think at this point, we're pretty much done with this topic. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And I will, even if the live video is over, I will follow up with you and let you know or give you an answer to your questions. All right. Thank you guys so much. And I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye. Oh, come on.